It's like stepping back in time. Each car at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance is a work of art. Many capture a certain segment of history from as far back as 1915.
There's over 100 years of history, and it reflects people's values through the years. And you'll see the early cars were really pioneers. I mean, people were trying to figure out, everybody from water pump makers to bicycle makers, everybody was making cars.
The Concours d'Elegance event began 62 years ago. At first, it was a small social gathering in Northern California. Now, organizers say it's the top-ranking collector car show in the world, held here on the famed 18th fairway at Pebble Beach. This is where enthusiasts from all over the globe come to display some of their most prized possessions and to compete for the title of Best in Show. The concours is not a contest of speed. Automobiles and motorcycles are judged for their historical accuracy, their technical merit, and their style.
Oh, I think the thing that all the cars that come to the Pebble Beach Concours and the motorcycles have in common is they reflect the passions of their owners.
Infiniti's chief creative officer, designer Shiro Nakamura, says the inspired designs of the past play into current and future models. That's why Infiniti is a sponsor of the Concours event.
I think we are much more inspired by the spirit of their creation.
Because this event is all about classic luxury, several luxury car companies see the event as an opportunity to showcase their new cars and concepts. This year, Infiniti's team unveiled the new Infiniti Emerg-E concept for the first time in North America. It's the brand's hybrid sports car that gives a glimpse into Infiniti's future.
It's impressive lines. There's a lot going on. But it's not too much. It's very interesting, very exotic looking, so really an eye-catcher.
Infiniti also invited guests to get up close to their prized F1 race car and to the brand's first fully electric concept car. The Infiniti LE is a preview of the zero-emission luxury sedan set to go on sale in 2014.
It's exciting to see where we're going. It's kind of a quantum leap that we're in for cars these days.
To top off an inspired weekend, Infiniti donated a new performance line Infiniti G convertible worth about $60,000 to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Monterey.
We have to contribute to the future, future generation. Therefore, we do every year.
Well, good morning and good afternoon to everybody. My name is Ben Poore and I'm the Vice President for Infiniti of Americas.
Hi everybody, my name is Johan de Nysschen. I'm the Global President for Infiniti.
And we had a little bit of a delay, but I think we're running now. And so we're very pleased. We're coming to you live from Pebble Beach here in beautiful Pebble Beach, California. This is the second live chat we've done from here, and very pleased to have Johan with us today. In Pebble, we're actually releasing or showing two vehicles here in North America, and it's really a look at where we might go with what I call sustainable luxury in the future. The first is behind us. It's the beautiful Infiniti Emerg concept vehicle, a mid-engine electric sports car. And then we also have here the Infiniti LE, which is our basically a mainline luxury car, electric, which will be available in the market about 2 years from now. And so, Johan, we're going to get questions fed to us, and I'm going to feed some to you, and we'll take it from there. Okay?
Let's do that.
And the first one does come from Jim, and Jim asks, Johan, being brand new to Infiniti, what is your vision for the company at this point?
I think perhaps the best way to answer that is to say, of course, I arrive at Infiniti with a very clear idea, an intention of where I would like to take this business. But I also need to bear in mind that I arrive at Infiniti with the opinion and perspectives of an outsider. And before we can really start talking about crafting a vision, I need to round out that understanding of the brand by also getting to know Infiniti as an insider. And that's really what I've been spending my time on. Today is, I think, my 47th day of a very intensive immersion in the brand. And really taking stock of what are the assets, what does the Infiniti brand stand for, what does the organization look like, what resources we have, and then I look forward to working with you, Ben, and the other men and women on the Infiniti team globally to begin to craft our vision for where we want to take Infiniti and how to get there. So perhaps I can get more specific answers to that question a few months from now.
Well, this one you may have to get a little more specific on, because we have one from Keith Johan where he's asking, what is your favorite Infiniti model so far?
You know, that's like asking a parent which is your favorite child. I don't think one can really answer it. All the cars are great, but I would have to confess I have to drive one, right?
Yeah.
So I am now the proud driver of an FX50S.
Great, great. I drive a QX, by the way, but I have many more younger children than Johan right now in the family, so that's why I choose that vehicle. The next one came in from Nicole. I think I'll take this one. It's asked, when will the LE concept, the Infiniti LE concept, be available for purchase? There's actually another question here from Don who's asking, can you tell us more about this vehicle? So I'll take this one. The LE will actually be available in our showrooms about 2 years from now, in 2014. If you look online, you can see the design that's here at Pebble, and what I can tell you is that design is about almost 85% true to what the actual vehicle will be like. So it's going to be a luxury vehicle first and foremost that happens to be 100% electric. It's got some really interesting technology as well. So let me just give you an example one. It's basically an onboard wireless charging system. So, you know, today with electric vehicles you have to plug them in, but with the LE you'll be able to position it over a charging pad, and literally the vehicle will back itself up over it. You walk away and it starts to charge. Convenient, luxurious, clean, very, very nice. So it's something you'll see that's just a little bit different in the LE, and we really look forward to bringing it to market very soon.
Certainly, it's an exciting example of Infiniti technology.
Absolutely, absolutely. Johan, the other one, next question comes in from a gentleman named, and I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, Satinder Singh, and obviously coming from India, and he's asking, are there any plans to enter in the Indian market?
Well, Infiniti obviously is unfolding now as a global brand, and the Indian market as an emerging market is one of importance and interest to us. We are busy assessing our strategy for global entry into the markets. Quite candidly, we can't conquer the whole world at once, so we do have to prioritize. But certainly India is under assessment right now.
Okay. Maybe, Johan, you could talk a little bit about Infiniti and the rest of the world. That would be great as well. There's a couple questions here to talk about that.
Yeah, certainly. Look, obviously Infiniti is at this stage still a US-centric brand. This is by far our strongest market. But as we are now beginning to set up a global footprint, probably starting also with us locating our global headquarters in Hong Kong, the Chinese market today is the world's largest car market, and certainly no car company could imagine to be a strong player in the world markets if you aren't also there with a strong presence in China. So China is a strong focus area for us now. We have begun to establish the Infiniti organization. We are rapidly growing the dealer network there, and we will, in fact, I think this is quite important, in fact, be doing localization of production in China. So a new factory being established, and we will certainly enter the Chinese market in a very vigorous manner. But it doesn't just go there. We've also opened up new markets now. Australia for one. I'll be in Australia in a few weeks to participate in the launch of the new JX.
Just what you need is more travel, obviously.
Exactly right. I don't travel enough. And other important emerging markets as well, you know, through around Asia, also South Africa, and then Europe. Europe, of course, where particularly in the Russian market, Infiniti is really gaining strong traction. And we're also looking at how we can further augment our position in Europe, not only through expansion of the dealer network, but possibly also expansion of the product portfolio with products that are also a little bit more Eurocentric.
You know, I have to say, Johan, also for me, from America's perspective, I think a strong Infiniti globally provides more resources because we can have more cars sold, and I think it actually provides opportunities for us here as well.
Oh, unquestionably so. You know, as we increase the global footprint of the brand, so you reach the point of critical mass for a far broader range of product, which means that customers here will have more to choose from. We can do a wider selection of powertrains, for example. You know, one of the considerations that one has if you want to enter the European market is you you're probably as fine an engine, as exciting a driving experience as our 3.7 V6 offers. In the European market, to be a contender, you also need probably a powerful compact four-cylinder,
right,
turbocharged technology, and of course diesel technology. So these are important things on the horizon for us. And the real exciting news, though, I think, is where Infiniti really is spearheading the market, is with our electric vehicle technology. And that is where we will set the benchmark and set the course and take market leadership right from the outset.
I think you're absolutely right. And there's actually a question here that's asking from RJ, can you tell us more about the Emerg-E concept? Maybe I'll start, and we'll talk over the sawing that's going on in the background. But the Emerg-E concept, as you see behind us, first of all, it's just a beautiful, absolutely beautiful design. We like to say it almost looks like there's silk pouring over four wheels, and you can just get that feeling. And it's actually a mid-engine sports car with two electric motors mounted mid in the vehicle. And you can imagine the advantages of that. They'll generate over 400 horsepower, and yet at the same time, the vehicle will be able to go 30 miles without using a single drop of gasoline. I don't know, have you had a chance to sit with the car much, Johan, since you've started?
I've certainly wasted no time in familiarizing myself with it. I saw it in Geneva when it was presented for the first time, and certainly it was a very intriguing vehicle. What's important, I think, too, about the Emerg, it gives a very strong hint of the forward-looking Infiniti design language that we can expect to see in forthcoming models. But primarily the technology. I mean, imagine this, that you can have an exhilarating driving experience with phenomenal acceleration and performance, and all that enjoy that brings in such an emotional package, but at the same time be able to drive with zero emission.
And then we have actually on board on this car a range extender, so that if you need to continue to go on, a small gasoline engine will kick in and allow you to continue to drive with the Emerg-E. And I guess that's kind of will take me to, there is a question here from Courtney, and she's asking, and I'm throwing this to you, it's asking, when will Infiniti build a supercar, if any?
You know, we have to look at a lot of alternatives now. I spoke a little bit earlier about the need for us to examine, as part of this process for me of due diligence, if you like, to have a look at all the market segments around the world, and all the global markets, and overlay our current product portfolio plus some of the products that we have in the pipeline to see, is there any white space? Are there opportunities that we are missing at the moment? Obviously, for a brand with great potential such as Infiniti, and particularly one that has such performance credentials, we might want to think that we are looking at a halo sports car. But we have a lot of priorities. Just intuitively, I would say the answer is absolutely yes, but it's a matter of timing. And the answer as to when will be brought a little bit more clearly into focus as the team and I work together on charting the course for the future.
Okay, great. This actually came in from a gentleman named Robert Rothenberg, and Robert's asking us, when can you tell us about future plans for the G? And I think, Robert, you know, right now we don't have anything to announce. I guess what I would say is probably look towards the end of this year, sort of Detroit Auto Show timing. I think we might have a little bit more to talk about then.
I will let you with a little sneak preview, because I've had the opportunity to, of course, view the successor to the G, and I can tell you it's going to set new standards. It's absolutely stunning, a winner.
Yeah, I have seen it as well. I'm glad you said that. You know, if you want to look at sort of a future where you might see the front end of the G or something, you can look to some of the design here, frankly.
Absolutely.
And you'll see a vision of the future where that's going. I have another question here from Alberto Juarez, and he's asking, were we going to see Infiniti in Rio by 2016? Obviously, there's some Olympics going on, etc. You want to try to take that one on, or? Well,
I'll tell you, I plan to be in Rio in 2016. But of course, the same answer here is really applied to the question on India. Brazil is an important emerging market, and one for any company that wants to have a global footprint we can't ignore. But some work still needs to be done before we make a final decision as to when we will introduce Infiniti to that market. So, but premature for me to answer that right now.
Okay. Well, I can say that we have launched here in the Americas. We launched in Mexico recently. We just launched in Panama, the Dominican Republic, and also Chile. So we have been expanding the brand outside of the U.S. So as we look at new markets, we'll certainly have more to say. I have a question here from Clinton. He's asking, I just caught the JX commercial. How does a backup collision work? So we have a commercial, obviously, where we show a young man who's pushing, I think it's called a cozy coupe, and the JX is backing up, and the car actually detects the cozy coupe and stops before it hits it. So the way the backup collision intervention system works is you have a set of cameras, and you have also a set of radar, actually, that works off the back of the car. It sends a signal out, and if it detects something and you don't, Clinton, it'll actually stop the vehicle for you. So you can imagine the benefit of that. I think it's an example of the technology we have, and it's been one of the hits in the JX. And I did actually have a question here that's asking, and now it's come off my screen, but there was a question asking if JX will be available in Europe sometime.
I think JX has been so well received that one of the challenges we face is to secure enough production capacity. But again, strong US demand is always welcome, but I would like to see the full lineup of Infiniti being offered in all the markets where we are present.
Okay. There's another question here about the IPO convertible, because we have that here, and it's asking, is the IPO convertible available now? This comes in from Ryan. And the answer is yes, absolutely. Here in the U.S., it's available as we speak in our showrooms, and it'll be launched very, very soon in Canada as well. And you know, the IPO for us is a start. It's a start of a sub-brand or a performance brand off of the mainline Infiniti brand, and we certainly know we can take this much further, I think. Any thoughts about the future on that, Johan, and where we might take IPO?
I would say certainly for a brand that has such a long history of producing high-performance cars, the future has got to include that. And I, in fact, am working with our R&D team to explore what are the options for a really high-performance car as a potentially a halo car for the brand. But in addition to that, to work on a plan that we have a high-performance version within each of the car lines to really not only differentiate in terms of equipment and optically from the mainstream models, but really have some muscle and horsepower to put down to attract also the high-performance enthusiasts.
And I'll take that for myself. So. There's another question here that came in from Emerson that's asking, how does Infiniti give back to the community? And maybe I could answer that on how we are doing it here in the U.S. One of the commitments we have, actually through our NCAA tie-in, is an organization called Coaches Against Cancer. And Infiniti's become a major sponsor of supporting Coaches Against Cancer. And we've done it in a way that, for example, during the NCAA tournament, we work with our consumers to allow them to help us contribute, so that we use the brackets where, and every bracket that is a right choice by a consumer will actually donate to Coaches Against Cancer. It's just one of the examples we've used. We like the way it's worked because it's not only us involved, but our consumers with us as well. There is a question that seems to come in from Asia. I don't know how to pronounce the gentleman's first name. His last name is Truong. And he says, if you plan to capture 10% of the premium market, what do you think Infiniti needs to do to keep their cars fresh and ahead of other cars in technology, performance, and design? And I think I'll turn that one to you.
I think obviously all cars go through a life cycle, and G has been at the epicenter of Infiniti as a highly important car for us. And so that is the first of a new generation of Infinitis. Obviously the exciting news is with the yet to be named production version of the LE concept. We are working right now on the concepts for the successors to EX and FX. So a lot of exciting stuff in the pipeline, and then we're not even speaking of the potential for new models which will allow us to enter new market segments not yet covered by Infiniti. So I would say the growth will be fueled by strong product, a very fresh product, and high technology in the existing vehicles that we have. A lot of sophisticated brand management, expansion of our sales power with the dealer network, but of course also very importantly, as we enter new markets with new models which are an extension of the existing portfolio, all these things will play together and help sustain our momentum.
Great. There's another couple of questions here about Pebble Beach, actually several. One came in here from Sarah, and she's asking me, I would say I can answer this, how many years has Infiniti been a part of Pebble Beach? And I'm not sure if I mentioned this up front, but we've been participating in Pebble Beach for 8 years. We love the venue. It's absolutely an area where you can attract, there's probably about 100,000 people who come through Pebble on the Concours weekend. And they're passionate. I mean, these are passionate car enthusiasts, and it gives us a chance to really kind of do a gut check almost on the level of our products versus other consumers. You've had a chance to look around the last couple of days. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, I always love coming out here to Pebble Beach. Not only is it an incredible setting, but it really gives one a strong connection to the heritage of the automobile. But it's also very interesting to see the various offerings by all the manufacturers, and I think everybody is showcasing the best they're capable of, and I'm proud to say that Infiniti is here amongst the best.
Okay, so there's another one it says the M35H, and this comes from Zach, has an excellent hybrid drivetrain. Can we expect more future hybrids in models across the line, etc.? It's typed in.
Well, you know, as we look at charting the course for the future, there are a lot of things that we can consider. On the one hand, we can take our really highly competitive and advanced hybrid technology and expand this offering across the lineup. We could also take a view where we say, let's be even more forward thinking and really invest in expanding the availability of alternative powertrains like the EVs on a broader base. All these things are part of the evaluation that we are busy with right now, but I can tell you that sustainability is certainly at the forefront of our focus.
So there's another question here on future direction, and we always get a lot of product questions, Johan, and this one is coming from Emerson, who's asking, does Infiniti have any plans to start using LED headlamps?
I would have to say watch the space. Watch
the space. I agree 100%. There's another one that just came in from Ryan. Ryan asked, I love what you guys did with the IPL-G in New Jersey with Vettel. So we had an IPL-G that we drove over to New Jersey. Will you be doing anything leading up to the Austin Grand Prix? Well, in fact, we will. We've actually started working on, well, we now have advertising in all of our F1 channels, or the speed channel here. I could tell you we're going to activate very heavily around the Austin race here. So stand by. We have some plans we'll announce very, very soon, but we'll incorporate our 2 drivers there, Weber and Vettel. You can be sure of that. And we think it's going to be an exciting race for us. I have time for one more question. And so this is kind of a funny one. Eric Rosenberg's asking, do you expect to offer the JX with a V8 engine at some point soon? I'd have to say probably not.
Yeah, I think that we have to take a long, hard look at where we position that vehicle, and particularly, again, as we look at establishing a global footprint for Infiniti and looking at the market requirements and also compliance issues. You know, the real pressure in the future is going to be on reduced fuel consumption, reduced emissions, and these mitigate against an 8-cylinder engine.
I think you're right. I think one of the nice things about JX is that we have a really fine balance right now of a family vehicle. 7-passenger seating, tremendous ability to get in and out of the vehicle, safety, but also fuel consumption that sometimes is actually better than a diesel engine. So I think that's a right combination for the vehicle. I think, Johan, that's about our time today. I'm sorry we couldn't get to more of your questions. If you will continue to submit your questions or anything we didn't answer today, we'll be sure to answer them on Facebook. I can assure you we'll do that. And look for the space. We're going to try to do more of these chats at different venues, and I hope, Johan, you'll join me again sometime in the near future.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, thanks everybody.